war in India and Pakistan? What's your position?
Oh, it's so terrible. My position is I get along with both. I know both very well, and I want to see them work it out. I want to see them stop. And hopefully they can stop now. They've gone tit for tat, so hopefully they can stop now. But I know both. We get along with both countries very well, good relationships with both, and I want to see it stop. And if I can do anything to help, I will be there.
A single warning, one message from across the ocean, and the entire subcontinent held its breath. India and Pakistan, nuclear neighbors with a history soaked in conflict, stood at the brink once more. But this time, Donald Trump had something to say. What happens when two rival nations with decades of hostility get a sharp warning from the most unpredictable U.S. president in recent history? Today, we peel back the layers of geopolitics, military buildup, and high stakes. Diplomacy to uncover what really happened when Donald Trump stepped into the boiling cauldron of South Asia and issued a warning that shook both New Delhi and Islamabad. But to understand this moment, we must rewind the clock back to a border soaked in tension and a history carved by blood and belief. India and Pakistan. Born from the same land, divided by ideology, religion, and ambition. Since 1947, they've fought wars, exchanged fire across the line of control, and stood toe-to-toe with nuclear warheads aimed and ready. Kashmir, beautiful, contested, and tragic, has been the epicenter of their endless conflict. But tensions escalated drastically when, in a sudden turn of events, both nations ramped up troop deployment near the LOC. Fighter jets buzzed overhead. Spy satellites locked onto targets. The world started watching nervously, and across the globe, one voice suddenly cut through the chaos. Donald J. Trump, former U.S. president, real estate tycoon, and a man who rarely holds back. Trump had already inserted himself into India-Pakistan issues before. He once offered to mediate the Kashmir dispute during a joint press conference with Imran Khan, then Pakistan's prime minister. That comment stirred outrage in India, which has long held that Kashmir is a bilateral issue, no outside interference allowed. But now, Trump wasn't offering to mediate. He was issuing a warning. In a televised interview, he leaned forward and said, "If this escalates any further, both countries are going to lose. Big. I've seen the intelligence. I've seen what they're capable of. I'm telling India, pull back. The consequences won't just be regional, they'll be global." The world media went into overdrive. Indian news outlets called it an insult. Pakistani officials, on the other hand, welcomed the comment, claiming Trump was finally recognizing Pakistan's sacrifices and security concerns. But behind the microphones and TV cameras, the diplomatic machinery went into overdrive. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs summoned the U.S. ambassador. Protests erupted outside U.S. consulates in Mumbai and Delhi. Social media exploded. "Tracker Trump Stay Out" trended in India. In Pakistan, "Track Trump the Truth" trended just as hard. But this wasn't just about words. It was about military strategy, alliances, and the threat of a regional war turning global. Behind closed doors, U.S. intelligence agencies were worried. India had test-launched an intermediate-range ballistic missile just days before. Pakistan responded with military drills near the border. China, Pakistan's all-weather friend, voiced concern. Russia warned of unintended consequences. In Washington, the Pentagon quietly shifted assets in the Indian Ocean. Aircraft carriers, surveillance drones, cyber teams, all moved like chess pieces. Why? Because the U.S. has interests on both sides. India is a strategic partner in its Indo-Pacific strategy to counter China. Pakistan is critical to maintaining influence in Afghanistan and dealing with terror networks. Trump's warning wasn't just political theater, it was a calculated move to freeze the battlefield. Sources inside diplomatic circles later revealed that behind Trump's public statement, there was a back-channel conversation. Indian National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and U.S. officials exchanged heated calls. The CIA passed intelligence to both India and Pakistan, warning of potential terror attacks that could act as a trigger for all-out war. And Trump? He reportedly called Prime Minister Modi directly. What he said remains classified. But within, 72 hours, Indian forces began to pull back from one high-tension zone. Pakistan mirrored the move. The world exhaled. Say what you will about Donald Trump, but his unorthodox approach, loud, confrontational, often off-script, managed to achieve what months of formal diplomacy couldn't. Critics say he humiliated a sovereign nation. Supporters argue he stopped a war. But what's undeniable is this: Trump's words carried weight. Because when a former U.S. president publicly warns a nuclear power, it's not just rhetoric, it's a message from the halls of global influence. Today, India and Pakistan remain as volatile as ever. Skirmishes still break out. Kashmir is still unresolved. The shadow of war is never too far. But something changed after that Trump warning. Both nations have subtly shifted their tone. Not toward peace necessarily, but toward caution. In an era where one tweet can move markets and one sentence can start or stop a war, words matter more than ever. And Trump's words that day? They didn't just echo through newsrooms. They echoed through missile bunkers, war rooms, and the hearts of millions living in fear of what could have been. The India-Pakistan conflict is a powder keg, a complex saga of history, nationalism, and pain. And in that storm, sometimes the loudest voice isn't the most dangerous. It's the one with the power to pull the trigger. This time, it was used to pull the brakes. But what about next time? Will it be diplomacy or disaster? Only time will tell.